The story of Colonial Heights United Methodist Church began in 1845 when a group of individuals established a church that was originally known as Cedar Grove Methodist Episcopal Church. The sum of $10 was paid to Joshua Shipley and R.P. Gott for land to build a church. Among a setting of oak and cedar trees was built a one-room log church with a stone fireplace and chimney. Wooden slabs were used as the church pews. The fledgling church overlooked the intersection of Shipley Ferry Road and what is now called Lebanon Road. It was common to see many wagons making their way west or back east as they waited to be ferried across the Holston River. Every so often, a circuit rider, dressed in black and mounted upon a fine horse, would ride up and deliver a lengthy sermon. Upon occasion, the little church might have served the purpose as shelter for a weary traveler. By 1847, the people of the Cedar Grove congregation changed their name to Mount Lebanon, a name that would remain with the congregation for more than 100 years. The next 40 years saw many changes for the Mount Lebanon congregation. A war between the states would divide all corners of East Tennessee, but still the congregation of Mount Lebanon persevered. The mid-1880s was a period of great revival for the Methodist Church. The membership and Sunday school attendance of this congregation grew rapidly. The foundation of a new building was laid a few feet from the old log structure in 1888. Much of the timber used in the building of the second Mount Lebanon Church was given by members and friends of the congregation. The second church was a white weatherboarded structure with a steep roof and bell tower, a bell that was described as lofty. The altar of the church was made of walnut, and in the middle of the sanctuary sat two pot-bellied stoves. Large oil chandeliers hung from the ceiling that consisted of hand-painted shades and crystal teardrops. The church had a pump organ and a handmade walnut pulpit. As time moved on, the ministry and mission of Mount Lebanon expanded. The 1950s were a busy decade for the congregation. The church became a station church in 1952, meaning it no longer shared a full-time pastor on a circuit with other churches. Reverend Dan Kelly was the pastor, his very first appointment out of seminary. In 1955, the congregation of Mount Lebanon broke ground on a new church building. Ground was broken the day before by the oldest member and youngest member of the church at that time. The building was a brick building containing a sanctuary and 2 rooms on the main floor. A fellowship hall, kitchen, and 5 rooms plus a furnace room were located on the basement floor. The first service was held in the sanctuary on June 24, 1956. Some of the church pews used in this building were from the earlier white frame church. Shortly after completing a new building came a new name. In February 1957, to reflect the growing community around them, Mount Lebanon Methodist Church was officially changed to Colonial Heights Methodist Church. In 1962, a new 3-story, 15-classroom education building was constructed. Originally built separate from the building of the church, it is now connected, and the education wing continues to house much of our preschool, children's ministry, and Sunday school rooms today. One of the more tragic events in our church's history occurred on February 28, 1970. A fire severely damaged the sanctuary building on the eve of the groundbreaking for a new sanctuary building. The fire did not deter the people of Colonial Heights Methodist Church, for on March 1st, the next day the groundbreaking ceremony commenced. Some of the relics that survived the fire include the offering plates and a Bible used by the 8th grade Sunday school class. While the current sanctuary was unusable and the congregation awaited the completion of a new sanctuary, the congregation of Colonial Heights for a time worshiped at the Colonial Heights Middle School down the road. By 1971, the present sanctuary was completed, and the first service was held on April 11th, Easter Sunday. The building was consecrated 5 weeks later. 1976 marked the bicentennial for the United States, and it was a special year for the people of Colonial Heights United Methodist Church. On February 18th, the new bell tower was set in place. Most of the funds to construct it came from memorial funds that were given over the previous 2 years. Later that year, construction began on the completion of the educational and administrative wing of the church, including the church balcony. Although our story has changed over the past 177 years in terms of people, names, and buildings, the people of this congregation remain committed and steadfast in living out God's call for our congregation in the Colonial Heights community and beyond.